So we will start now with prayers. So these prayers we can slowly learn. You can also try reciting along with me. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Dhasa and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhara, Srivasa, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you're the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You're the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees, and they're full of compassion for the fallen souls. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So this is the the prayer to Srila Prabhupada. It's not there in this book, but I'll try to include a slide next time. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You're kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa and all others in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so we are in chapter 1. Before we begin, some questions of a review for the first 23 verses. So, who spoke the first? You can all type your answers in the chat. Maybe that will be quicker. Who spoke the first verse of Bhagavad Gita? Dhritarashtra. Okay. And where was this battlefield? What's the name of the battlefield? Where? Okay, Kurukshetra. And who is uh, to whom Dhritarashtra asked the first question? Sanjaya, very good. Okay. And who is the commander in chief of the Pandavas? Not Sanjaya, not Arjuna, not Krishna. Commander in chief, Senatipati of the Pandavas is Drishtadyumna, right? So Drishtadyumna is the commander in chief of the Pandavas. Who is the commander in chief of the Kauravas? Bhishma. Bhishma Pitamaha is the commander in chief of the Kauravas. Okay. Uh, okay, say true or false. Uh, Duryodhana was completely fearless and confident of victory. Okay, false. Yes, it's false. Okay. And who blew the first conch shell in the battlefield? Bhishma. Yes, Bhishma blew first the conch shell. Okay. And who was the teacher, military teacher of both the Pandavas and the Kauravas? Okay, that's the right answer, Dronacharya. And uh, okay, there's a multiple choice. You can say A, B, C, or D. Okay. Did we finish this? Let me check if we finished this before I asked that question. Mm. What special request did Arjuna make to Krishna? Okay, I'm going to read the choices. A, to blow the conch shell for him. B, to take the chariot between both armies. C, to stop the war before it begins. D, to ask Bhishma for a peaceful resolution. Okay, it was only B. Okay, to take the chariot between both the armies. He didn't want to stop the war, basically. Okay, and this is also a multiple choice. Why did Arjuna want to see those assembled for battle? A, to estimate the strength of both armies. B, listen carefully, to see who had come to support Duryodhana. C, to examine his own relatives and teachers fighting against him. D, all of the above. Very few got it right. Okay. So why did Arjuna want to see those assembled for the... Why did Arjuna want? Because to estimate the strength of both armies is A. B is to see who had come to support Duryodhana. C, to examine his own relatives and teachers fighting against him. D, all of the above. Yeah, now, actually, it's all of the above. He didn't want to stop the war, but he wanted to estimate the strength, and he's also seeing. Okay, see who is supporting Duryodhana, and to see who are relatives and teachers fighting. Just he wants to make an estimation. Okay. Uh, Let me not ask technical questions. What? Okay, I can ask this. The conch blown by Krishna was called as blank. If you remember that. Yes, Panchajanya was the name of the conch blown by Krishna. Uh, okay, say true or false. Duryodhana fully trusted Bhishma and had no doubts about his leadership. False, yeah. Hmm. Okay, another question here is who gave the divine vision to Sanjaya so that he can, sitting in a place, see and narrate the battle? Yeah, yes. Vyasadev. Okay. And okay, one more question. Um, Duryodhana considered Bhishma to be weaker than the Pandava warriors. True or false? False is the right answer because he was telling what we are protected by Bhishma's strength, which is unlimited, and Pandavas are protected by Bhima's strength, which is limited. Okay, so yeah, we'll make it more professional this QA session. As the days go by, we can um, you know, we will do a slight review like this so that we can get into the context of what we are reading. So we'll read 5 verses and then discuss. We have to, let's read from 20. We read till 23, but from 20. Okay. Yeah, Srinath Prabhu and also others who have not read so far. I mean, we want to see everyone participate. Anyone who wants to read the next 5 verses, you can please raise your hands. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Can go ahead. 20 to 25.
Hare Krishna. At the time, 20 to 25 or 25, right?
Yeah.
24.
No,
We
you
did.
can read the 25 also.
Yeah, so like start from 24, right? Mataji?
Yeah, basically, but to just set the context,
Oh, I see.
So we thought
Okay.
like 2-3 verses before we will start.
Okay. Yeah. So at the time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya said, O descent of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, "Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here."
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we can see how Arjuna is saying that the three reasons. I want to see who has come here to fight for Dhritarashtra, who are the great people who I have to contend, and the two armies, so that who have come here to this year to fight. Then Sanjay is saying, as soon as Arjuna said this, what did Krishna do? He drew up the fine chariot in the midst of both the armies. So, in this, Arjuna is, if we see the text here, Krishna is addressed as Rishikesha and Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesha. Rishikesha means Lord Krishna, or one who is the uh, controller of the senses, or one who is the master of the senses. So he's the one who has given these senses to us, and so the senses have to be used in his service. So he's called Rishikesha, and Arjuna is called Gudakesha. The word Gudakesha means that one who has conquered sleep. So how he was able to conquer sleep? Because he always, for a moment also, he cannot be without thinking of Krishna. Since the whole day he was thinking of Krishna, even in the night, he was thinking of the Lord in his sleep also. Basically, waking up or sleep, he was able to think of Krishna. That way, he has conquered sleep. Why? Because sometimes people, like, we can pass away even in sleep, right? But Arjuna conquered sleep in the sense, even if he had passed away during sleep, he would have gone back to Krishna, because at the end of the life, he is always thinking about the Lord. So there is one nice story that Bhima was telling to Arjuna that I wanted to tell to you something very secret. Only we both should know, no one else. But Arjuna said, okay, that's right. But, the problem is Krishna. If you think of him, he's present there. So he's present. He's always hearing what we both are saying. So we cannot have a secret among ourselves. So then Bhima said, okay, fine. You forget Krishna for a moment until I tell you the secret. Then, you can remember him again. But Arjuna, he said, all right. And he fell down unconscious, because he wasn't even able to be conscious when he tried to forget Krishna. So this is one of the reasons that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Because if you remember, what are the two qualifications that he says that he spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Uh, okay, who's raising hand? Megha Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so from text 26, right, Mataji?
Oh, okay. Oh, you can read. We haven't yet finished. I thought
Oh,
you were answering the question. Yeah.
it's for the two qualities that Krishna was, because he was a friend as well as a devotee of
Perfect.
Lord Krishna.
Perfect. See, friend as well as a devotee. So he had full trust in the Lord that I can place my life in his feet, and he's always my well-wisher. Whether we have trust or not, Krishna is always our well-wisher. But when we have trust, then we see how Krishna is our well-wisher. So Arjuna said that, and then Sanjay is saying that having been addressed, then Krishna took the fine chariot amidst both the armies. And what he said, Krishna, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. So this is only half shloka that is quoted by Sanjaya that Krishna is saying. Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kurun iti. If we see the Sanskrit here, he said to Partha, Pashyaitan, see, Samavetan, everyone, Kurun iti, all those assembled here. So he said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. So he is like, he's the Lord. So he knows what's going to happen. So he's like kind of telling, okay, Arjuna, see whom you have to fight here. So that those words of Krishna are very powerful. So let's see. Then, yeah. So we'll continue to read 26 to 30. Mataji, Megha Mataji. They are mute.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 26. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both the parties his father, grandfathers, teachers, marital uncles, brothers, son, grandson, friends, and also his father-in-law and well-wishers. Text 27. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Text 28. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel my limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. 29. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on ends, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hands, and my skin is burning. Text 30. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only cause of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of Keshi demon. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So when he's seeing the army now, basically initially he wanted to see whom I should contend with. How, I mean, he was in a fighting spirit. Let me estimate them. Let me see who has come here to please that evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So he was having that Kshatriya spirit. Oh yeah, let me fight. Let me do that. And then Krishna said, look, Arjuna, who have all come here to fight with you. And then when Krishna looked, he didn't see them as enemies coming to fight. But basically, he saw friends, relatives, his fathers. Okay, I mean, father and the father's relatives are all considered as fathers, right? Grandfathers, like Bhishma Dev, teachers, Dronacharya and Kripacharya, and uncles, maternal uncles like Shalya and Shakuni, who was also maternal uncles. Brothers, brothers like Duryodhana. He didn't see Duryodhana as an enemy. At this time, he saw Duryodhana as brothers, sons like Lakshmana, grandsons like Abhimanyu, friends like Ashwatthama, and fathers-in-law like Arjuna had. I know in Kshatriyas were allowed to marry more wives because they were able to maintain them separately like that. That was in the previous yuga. So all his fathers-in-law, Draupadi's father, and other, he had a Naga queen who were his father. So, and other well-wishers. Basically, everyone during Christmas, we all, used to get gifts for each and everyone. Okay, my friend, my relative, this, that. All of them were there. So that means Arjuna was at that point thinking, they have come here to be killed by me. So with that one thing, he was overwhelmed with compassion. Then immediately he said, seeing them in such a fighting spirit, first thing, his limbs of the body are quivering and my mouth drying up, because he can see them dying. Even if we are up close with somebody who's dying, whom we know, we all remember that, right? It's a very traumatic experience to see that. But now he's seeing all of them and then ready to be killed. And so he's imagining that what would happen if all of them die. So immediately uh, it sends a shiver in his body, and he starts to become like the mouth is dried up, the tongue is stuck, because he's like shocked. Oh, I'm going to kill them and they're going to die. So, why this compassion is not because of cowardice, but he was feeling compassionate for the opposite party soldiers also. So, he was thinking, why should I fight? Is this necessary at all? That for a piece of land, that all of these, I mean, how am I? I mean, he was, in fact, he's cursing himself that why did I come here to fight and kill them? How am I doing this myself? So he's stressful. He understands the consequences of this, but he's already asked Krishna to place his chariot in between both the armies. That means he's practically started the fight. So, but he's not able to fight. So he's having that stress. So what we call stress is the internal battle, right? So it's affecting him in three levels: in physical level, in mental level, and intellectual level. So that's why his body is trembling, his hair is standing on end in extreme fearful situations, or in spiritual ecstasy, when that the spiritual emotions comes from the soul and slips to the body, the material body cannot take that. And that's why we see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's description that how his hair was standing on end, and torrents of rain is like his from his tears were flowing. Like for us, tears will trickle down. For him, tears will flow as though the tap is opened with such a force. So these are all, those symptoms are extraordinary symptoms because of spiritual emotions that is awakened in the heart. But what's happening to Arjuna now is out of fear. Fear that I will cause their death. So his Gandiva, the bow is slipping from my hand because the hand is wet, become wet with sweat. Although it is not mentioned here, we can see Acharyas have commented like that. His skin is burning and he's also crying. What do I do here? I mean, how can I even come up to this level? So this is because of soft-heartedness of Arjuna. And the devotee, that's one of the quality of a devotee. A devotee means para dukkha dukhi. If somebody is in distress, then he sees that as his own distress. So he becomes sad when others are sad. Normally, what we are, when somebody whom we don't like, they are having a sad situation, we are like, oh yeah, he needs that. He did that to me, he needs that. So we are para dukkha sukhi. Or if somebody is, we wanted something for our happiness and our friends have gotten that. So they are happy. But what will happen to us? We become sad. That means para sukha dukhi. Other sukha, we become unhappy. So this happens commonly because when we think that we are the center of everything and my happiness is what matters the most, right? But Arjuna, he can very well kill everyone, and he knew he will kill everyone, And so he doesn't want to do that because he is distressed at causing others distress. So this is the quality of a devotee. And he says what? That, I mean, within moments, because we know the story, right? Dronacharya asked everyone to concentrate on the eye of the wooden bird that he kept on top of the tree to see their skills, how they've learned. While they were about to shoot the arrow, Dronacharya asked, "What do you see?" Then they said, "The eye." Then what else you see? Then they said, "The bird, the tree." Whoever said like that, they were sent off. But Arjuna was telling, "I, the eye of the bird. Now I see the pupil. Now I see the small, a black circle in the center of the pupil. Then now I see the white spark that's coming from in the center." Then Dronacharya said, "You shoot." So Arjuna was a very intelligent person and he could quickly analyze the situation. And he had focus of mind, focus of thought, and focus of intelligence. So with all that, he is telling that I am unable to stand here any longer, because what he's only seeing causes of misfortune. So what is causes of misfortune? Everyone is going to die. Then who can I share if even if I win the battle, okay, who's there to share my to applaud for me? Like now we do something immediately, even before we do something, we'll put it in Facebook, and how many likes I've got, how many Instagram likes, and social media, everything. Imagine if somebody doesn't have nobody to share and nobody to applaud. Okay, so he's saying, what is the concept of this? Like, it's only misfortune. And also, uh, just like a person who's not hungry, he will not feel the need to cook. So he is not hungry for the battle. So he doesn't want to do the battle anymore. So he's saying, I don't want to stand here at all, because it's like, I don't want to fight. Okay. So, but the problem for Arjuna is he is a Kshatriya, and Kshatriya means they are in governance. They have to have a kingdom. And the only chance to win that is while he's doing this war. And if he's not doing this war, then his only other chance is to live a life of frustration, begging in the forest. Is he ready to do that? So let's see. Can someone read 31 to maybe 38? Who wants to read? Annapurna Mataji. Oh, I'm sorry. I lowered your hand. Can you raise your hand again? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, and thank you, Mataji. So, I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers in law, grandsons, brothers in law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living beings, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Till what verse do I read?
Yeah, 36. You can read 36 also.
Okay. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So we can see the frustration in Arjuna's expressions here, right? I don't want to kill them. Then Krishna might say, oh, if you don't want to kill them, they will kill you. Is that okay? He says, yes, it's okay for me. Even if I get killed, and also not only for this land, even if the three worlds, the Swargaloka, fully 7 planets put together, 7 lower planets put together, if everything it has to come under me and I want to fight for that purpose also, I don't want. And what is he saying here? If you see, what pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So he's saying that, I cannot derive any happiness by killing them. By killing them, I will have the guilt of having killed them. And of course, they are my brothers. Okay, I mean, it's okay now. Duryodhana is ruling. Let him continue to rule. This is his thought. It is not that he had a selective amnesia. He forgot what they were. But he's telling that for whatever they did, why should I kill them? And by killing them, I will not be happy. So, and he's asking that you are the maintainer of all living entities. So, Janardana, he's telling Krishna as Janardana. And indirectly, I mean, the names that, first of all, you can see so many names of Krishna and Arjuna addressing personally each other. That's the beauty of this conversation, right? It's not impersonal. Just like if we talk to a friend or someone who is so dear or chat with them, we tend to repeat their names. And we can see Krishna is telling Arjuna, Partha, the son of Pritha, Kaunteya, son of Kunti Devi, Gudakesha, and Sanjaya is telling that he's won over the sleep. So like that way, Arjuna is also addressing various names of Krishna, and according to there is a reason why he addresses. So you are Janardana, you are maintainer of all living entities, but I'm surprised that how uh, you are driving my chariot and I'm going to kill. Instead of maintaining the living entities, I am about to kill them. So it was his natural compassion for them, that is his soft heartedness. And also, everyone thinks only from our viewpoint. So we think that for me this is right, and this is gives me happiness, and this gives me distress at this point of time. Why is God doing this to me? Isn't it? Many, many times, we ask, why God has to do this to me? As if God has an agenda only to do this to us. But the point is, we want God to be our order supplier. It is his responsibility to see that I am happy. And whatever materially makes me happy, if that is not there, then I will ask him, why is he doing this? But that's not the point, right? A devotee thing is that we want to satisfy the desires of the Lord. And Arjuna knew that they were aggressors. And aggressors means 6 types of aggressors who attacks with a weapon and like this, a poison giver. Okay, they have given poison to Bhima, one who sets fire to the house. They set fire to the Lac Palace in their vacation house in Varanavata in Varanasi. One who attacks with deadly weapons. They came to attack them many, many times, even in the when they were in the forest. One who plunders riches. So by the dice game, all that was belonging to Pandavas, they had plundered. One who occupies another's land. So they got the land also. They actually, this land belongs to Yudhishthira. They gave him a part, Kandava Prastha, and that also was occupied. And one who kidnaps a wife. So they did all this. But Arjuna wanted to deal with them in saintliness. Okay. Because, he think that that is how they have to be treated. He doesn't want to look at this. Like, if someone would provoke us even a little bit, what is a question of saint or sage or anything? We will take the axe and be ready to fight. But Krishna, when Arjuna is provoked and asked to come for a battle, at that time he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. But this kind of saintliness is not for a Kshatriya at this point of time. Rama was so saintly, but he also gave lessons to Ravana. And Arjuna was a devotee, so he wanted to forgive whatever they have done. Let us forgive. What they did, I mean, the worst thing that they did all this 6 kinds of aggressors they were. But the worst thing is that they wanted to strip Draupadi naked for no reason. I mean, for no fault of hers. So it was Karna who suggested that because Draupadi wanted to marry Arjuna, and it is Swayamvara is said for a reason that the girl can choose who she can marry. That choice was given to the girl. So Draupadi did not want Karna to even contest in that because she can choose that. So she said that I want only Kshatriyas to be contested because she wanted to get married to Arjuna and she had a doubt that uh, Karna will hit and she had to go with Karna. So for that in mind, what Karna did when Draupadi was won, he only suggested that now she is her slave, is our slave and our property. We can do whatever we want. And Arjuna was ready to even forgive that. But Krishna was not ready to forgive that. That's why when Krishna went for a peace messenger, I think Sanjaya first went for peace messenger and that failed. And Krishna said, I will go for peace messenger. And Draupadi showed her hair. That hair that was, she had never did comb her hair for 13 long years. We can see how the hair would be. And Draupadi is known for the beauty of her hair. I mean, it comes till her uh, knee or something. I've read like that. So all her mantle. So she's showing her hair like this. Krishna, did you see this? Then Krishna said, I know. I saw that. Don't worry. So he went for peace messenger, but he knew that later they shouldn't accuse Pandavas that you did not try your best to try for peace. So he went on their behalf. So the Lord is connected to devotee in such a way that uh, he can never forgive someone who has done wrong to his devotee. That's why we should be careful. We should not take it for granted to do whatever we want with Krishna's devotees. And also another example Srila Prabhupada gives is this, that if you see a medical person, many of my friends are doctors now, and initially when they go the second year into the mortuary and they had to see the body parts of the dead body, they're all like they're throwing up, they're scared and they come. But eventually they're trained to cut the dead body to see what is there inside, and that way they're trained like that, so that when a surgery is done, their hands don't shake. Those who are not trained, our hands will shake to cut somebody's stomach or whatever part, but they are trained to do that. So like that way Arjuna was also trained to be a Kshatriya, but here he's shivering. It can be compared like this, that if a surgeon had to do a life and a death determining surgery on his own wife or children, how would he feel? Okay, there are some emotions in that, right? Of course, emotions are there for everyone, but they can do it professionally and they can keep it separate from. But when it comes to one's own spouse or children, the doctors don't basically, they don't, even though they're pediatricians, they can deliver their own child, they will ask other person to do that. So Arjuna was exactly in that position, that he was ready for this, but when he came near, he started to shiver, thinking about all this. Okay, so someone to read from 37 to 42, 43 maybe. Oh, I have to unmute. Yeah, Abba Mataji.
Jai Krishna Mataji. So text 37 and 38. O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? 39. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. 40. When irreligion is prominent in a family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of the womanhood, a descendant of Vrishni comes unwanted progeny. 41. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for the offering them food and water are entirely stopped. 42. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. 43. So I'm sorry, I'm not able to see the 43. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in the hell.
Thank you.
Namaste.
So these are very logical and thoughtful arguments by Arjuna. So they don't see any fault in killing. So why should we also do what what we should do? And of course, I came here to fight, but the effect of fight is going to be very bad. So how can, I mean, they don't see that, and I am seeing that. So I am not able to gather up myself to continue fighting, seeing such a what a degrading act that we have all come here to do. And then he's thinking all those men are only in the fight, right? So women are at home and the children are also. So with the elders of the family, all men, all the elders in the family, they have all come, and then there is no one to tell the younger, children and others that this is what you are supposed to do. This is how the traditions, the kula dharma, the family tradition is gone, because nobody to tell what to do and what not to do. So when the women like that, when the men are all in the battlefield and then they are dead, and the women in the family and those people who are living as aborigines in the jungle and other uncivilized men, the rogues and the thieves and not the normal citizens, what they would do, they could come and exploit the women. And women as such, they may not have, they don't have physical strength to protect themselves. So because they are degrading the womanhood, there will be unwanted progeny. And what happens when there is unwanted progeny? Because of not proper combination and praying and the rites and rituals, so those uh, children cannot think for the welfare of the society. So they will always think that how I can, bring down, cause some mass destruction, how, not for community welfare, but community destruction. So he says all this, we can avoid if we stop this war. And uh, generally, for the Pitras, for the ancestors, there is food and water offered at least yearly once. Okay, in that particular period that is mentioned in the scriptures, or that on the day, on the tithi when they have passed away. So during that time, what exactly happens is the food is prepared in a very clean way and is offered to Lord Vishnu, and that Vishnu prasadam is offered to them. Just in case if they are suffering without even getting a family, because why all these things were done? Only because of the understanding that the soul is eternal. Even though they have passed away, even though we can't track where they are, but whatever we do according to the performances, it is carried to them in a subtle way. The blessings are going to them, because, and we have to do that because they have taken care of us. When we were very small children, we didn't even know what we have to do. They put food in the mouth, they cleaned us up, they gave us protection. So there is a runa, the debt. So that is why it is said that if we have the practice of offering food for Krishna every day at home, then automatically these ancestors are pleased, and their debt is gone. Because when we offer food to the Lord, the devas and the pitras, the ancestors and the demigods, are automatically pleased. So at least those who don't do that every day, they have to do that at least once a year, um, for that offering. But those who are chanting the holy names of the Lord and following this process of bhakti, and especially offering food in their homes, for them, this doing this is redundant. By just doing these activity of offering the Lord and doing the Yuga Dharma of chanting the holy names, devas and the ancestors are automatically pleased. So he says that, where did we stop this? So the family traditions will be destroyed, and that's only because of me. So if I do that, then I will always be in hell. Is it not? So he's asking in a very, he puts forward these arguments which shows his soft-heartedness, his in-depth knowledge, and also his compassion and his far-sightedness, that this war is going to bring generations and generations of misfortune like this, just for a piece of land. Okay, we can see that his heart is softened towards the sons of Dhritarashtra also. Okay, the last few verses. Meera, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So I'll start reading from 42. Okay. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with griefs.
Thank you, Mataji. So we can see that that how he's saying, he's concluding this, that even if they were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. So he has come to a conclusion that I will die, but I will not fight. I will die also, but I will not do this. Like we say sometimes, now, even in my death, I don't want to do this. So let them kill me. That's better than for me to fight this war. And then he sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief, not able to do anything, but sat down. So, like this way, even though we may not be in this situation, like it's so desperate, like Arjuna, we can see that there is something or the other always bothering us. Some anxiety, something given, even if there is nothing, everything is going good now, also we will think about the future. Oh, it probably this won't continue, and I need to, uh, prepare for the worst, or what happened in the past. Now I am good, but I suffered so much in the past. So, like this, for no reason, we will take anxiety and we will cause stress to ourselves. So, we can compare that if Arjuna got a solution for his stress and for what he is, for his confusion, definitely all of us can apply Bhagavad Gita and get a solution for our problems that is that we have to face. It may be different for everybody, but whatever is problems to us is problems to us, right? For the other person, it may be not. But Krishna, as Paramatma in the heart, is speaking this, and he's putting Arjuna especially in this condition so that to speak to us. We always talk to God when we go to the temple, but here, this is where he has already talked to us. So if we consult this book as a life manual, we'll be able to make the best out of it. So the homework is to read the purports, and if you have any questions, we can discuss, and there will be a small quiz when we start next week. So we will pause here, and if you have any reflections, anything to say, and any questions, any review, anything that you liked, that points that you wanted to share. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So again, a disclaimer, this is for those devotees who have done the 18-day, and this is a very high level discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. But our main intention in this 18 weeks is that we will go through each shloka, at least a translation of the shlokas together in the class, and then the purport and the Sanskrit can be read as a homework. So it may not be very in depth, but it is again a next level of overview. Okay. So, any questions? Srinath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. You asked like reflections or something. So I can try to see that first chapter, what it covered from beginning to end. Is that okay?
Yeah, maybe it can be brief, Prabhuji. If
Yeah, I know. I'll try to do it in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, in the beginning, like Dhritarashtra was inquiring about with Sanjay about what is happening in the Kurukshetra, and he was like more curious about his sons because the place is Kurukshetra, but it is Dharmakshetra, right? So that's why. And Duryodhana was always boasting about his strengths, and Arjuna, like overall, he was morally down because he'll be killing his own kinsmen, his friends, relatives. So from Arjuna point of view, and Krishna was uh, trying to start. It's like a stepping stone for the next step. Like Krishna will start uh, advising Arjuna like why he has to fight and all like that. Then we also had conch shells specific to like Arjuna and Bhishma and Krishna. So both the sides they blew the conch shell before the war began. I think, yeah. So then, why Arjuna refused to fight was because, he, all the friends and relatives were there, and he don't want to kill them, and rule the country with all those, sins being carried with him. So he doesn't want to fight. He kept his bow and arrow aside. I think that's all I have, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice, short and crisp summary. Very helpful. Thank you. Okay. Annapurna Mataji.
Hare Krishna again, Mataji. Thank you very much. Very nice class. I missed the last one. I have one reflection and one question. My reflection is, after reading the Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter is all about Arjuna imagining the result of his actions, right? And my question is, we talk about doing the Pitradan and all that. The Pitras will take different bodies. So how long do people continue doing this? This is my question.
So that's why we are supposed to do only the three levels of only for the immediate ancestors, and while doing the Shraddha ceremony, 3 generations names are taken maximum, and it is as long as we are alive, we are supposed to do that to our immediate ancestors, and that becomes our responsibility, not our children responsibility. So when we become pass away, then the children have do that for us. So it's only one generation that we do. That's the thing, but this is lifelong, because our life is very short compared to the Pitruloka. That's why.
Oh, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Reena Mataji. Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for another wonderful session. I have a question, not directly from this class, but it's in terms of a compare and contrast. I was thinking about how in Ramayana we talk about Vibhishan going against his brother in the fight against Lord Rama, right? And he did the right thing. And even then, when we generally in the culture now, he's not looked at as a positive example. Like a lot of times people cite as Ghar ka bhedi, Lanka dhai, or whatever. It's not looked at in a positive light in general. Like that's my understanding. And on the other hand, we had a very detailed discussion about how Dronacharya and Bhishma, they knew that they were fighting on the wrong side, and they knew how the war is going to end, but they were forced through their own institutional loyalty or the oath the oath that Bhishma had taken. So they had to fight on the wrong side of the war. Even then, I think there is a lot more respect for them. So am I seeing this correctly? And is there a point that explains or internalizes?
Thank you for taking that up. And yeah, that is more because of the media. I mean, this kind of thoughts are because, when we grew up, we see the serials and see people debating and discussing. They want to say something that makes sense to us morally, ethically, but not what is the purpose of the scriptures. So the point is, if you see the great saints who has analyzed each and every aspect of Ramayana or Mahabharata, and they've given commentaries on that, great teachers, acharyas. So they have glorified Vibhishana's Sharanagati. Vibhishana came to surrender to the Lord, even though, I mean, there's a chance that the Lord would not accept him because he's a brother of the arch rival. But
Right.
still, he had full trust and he came to surrender, and that's glorified a lot in Ramayana. If you see, many, many lectures are there that takes this aspect of how Vibhishana came to surrender and how the Lord uh, gave him his shelter also, without considering that he is the brother of the enemy, in spite of so many people telling different things. And ultimately, what happened to Vibhishana was that he didn't lose his life, and he was crowned as a king of Lanka. So that was a result of his. Um, so what he did, although it's a dharma to stay with the brother, but it is a bigger dharma to do what is right, because what the brother did was wrong. So you can stay with your family if they're doing right. But if they are doing wrong, then we have to tell them what is right. And he tried that many times. And Ravan was the one who kicked Vibhishan, literally
Mm.
kicked. So he was
Right.
forced to come. He exiled Vibhishan. That he
Right.
did not go. Vibhishan did not go, but Ravan exiled. That if you come before me, I'll kill you. You go out of this. So when the king makes such a thing, then he has no other go but to go out. So, but rather we saw that even though they were great devotees, even though it is for purpose of the duty, they had to be there. Ultimately, they were invincible. Both of them, Dronacharya and Bhishma, can never be killed. It was impossible. That's what Kunti Devi praised. That they were like huge sharks that will eat Timingala fishes also. And Pandavas were like tiny, puny fishes compared to them. But they were also killed. That's why they say Dharmo Rakshati Rakshatu. Or one who protects the Dharma, or one who stands by the Dharma, Dharma protects him. So this
Mm.
is the angle of vision of the great acharyas. But I have also heard many debates and many people writing articles, because this tendency to tell something new to gain attention is so much prevalent, and so they would want to bring up some other viewpoints. That's because of the lack of understanding the purpose of the uh, Puranas and Itihasas themselves.
So I mean, thanks for explaining it this way. It's correct that we basically, because the traditional knowledge is not passing down correctly in our culture these days, it's kind of lost, and then these kind of one-liner conclusions are circulated. But another extension of the same question is, let's say in the current times, like in the Kali Yuga, we talk of Julian Assange, right? So he did the right thing by coming out and talking about the WikiLeaks controversy. And now he's charged with treason, and he's like kind of sent out of the country. He's had to run for his life. So how do we apply the same understanding? I mean, would you say that if Bhishma had stood up and said, "Oh, I'm not doing this," and he would still, like, there was no way out for him. He had to, either way, he was kind of in deep waters.
Yeah, the thing is that the power rests with the king. That's why he's a king for a reason. Every
Mm-hmm.
other person's, even though he is Pitamaha, the Dronacharya is a teacher, they can advise. But the king has the word becomes a final word. So even if they had stood up, they cannot
Mm-hmm.
stand up and first of all be without fighting for the thing. That is one thing. I mean, if they had done that, probably we don't know what would be the result. The war would have gone and they would have survived, and again Yudhishthira will be the king and they would be glorified as those people, because they say that uh, every kalpa, every day of Brahma, these pastimes happen a little differently.
Mm.
May not be exactly the same. That's why you see some different versions of Ramayana also. in Mahabharata also. So we don't know, but this is what happened at this the past yuga, and we are seeing it and learning lessons from that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. It's fascinating. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Mega Mataji. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I don't think so. I have a question related with this chapter 1, but I have something to ask. Uh, I have heard about these Pushti Margis.
Mhm.
Like, are they belong to one of these four sampradayas? Like, how can you I just want to know how we define them. Like, are from the sampradayas? Like, I want to know a little bit on these ones.
Mhm.
Who are Pushti Margis? Like, how to define them?
Yeah, I may not have more details, but whatever
Mhm.
I know, I can say that they are a branch
Oh.
of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. But and then their method of worship is spontaneous devotional service for the Lord, which is like which way if we read in Nectar of Devotion,
Mm-hmm.
it's a higher level after the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Like, for example, why are we asking like everyone to at least chant 2 rounds before we read Bhagavad Gita? Because that's a seva. That is
Mm-hmm.
the Guru Dakshina. That's a gratitude. Krishna is a teacher. Krishna is the Lord himself, but he is also the teacher. And we are learning from him. So we are doing some service of chanting, even though it's not spontaneous for us, right? We don't have, may not have the spontaneous attraction like we have to see our social media or other things, but
Mm-hmm.
we make it a practice. So there is devotional service of gratitude in practice, and there is a devotional service of gratitude that comes. Then practice becomes a second nature after a person practices perfectly. There are signs for that. It's a science, and the offenses have to be avoided, and then like that. So once a person comes to the spontaneous method, then then he sees the Lord everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and he's able to relate with the Lord, and like any other family member, like that. But the problem now is, before we go into that stage, if we try to do that in the sadhaka level, we might try to bring down the Lord. Like I have seen one of my friends like offering a mobile to the Lord,
Oh. Oh.
or a cricket bat, or a cooling glass, because we think that these are things that are giving me happiness, so it will give
Mm-hmm.
happiness to my, not all, I'm telling,
Yeah.
some aspects of it. So they have commentaries, they have very nice acharyas, and their line of devotion is nice, but yeah, this is the understanding that it's meant for those who have awakened their
Mm-hmm.
spontaneous devotional service to the Lord.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Chandar Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question regarding this chapter. My question is, at the present time, this is the fight between the cousins.
Mhm.
And what about if there is a fight between the real brother sisters or brother brothers? And one is dharmic, doing the all right thing, and one is not doing. So they should be apart then? They should not deal with each other or completely cut off from each other?
Uh, it depends, Mataji. Usually in Kali Yuga, it happens like that only. Kali means kalaha. Kalaha between the family, inside the family, within one family to another, and then one community to another, like that. So it's a natural symptom of Kali Yuga. But what we can try to do, the solution is God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, understanding that we are not this body, we are soul, and we are all a part and parcel of Krishna. And our purpose of life is spiritual, nourishment. So if this is kept as a goal, then whatever the material reason for that kalaha can be addressed, or it would become small if this is kept as a goal. But other than that, then if this is not kept as a goal, then it's definitely, they will fight. Even if they are two apart from each other, also they're thinking about each other only, right? It's only physically apart. There are families who fight. So, some are in India, the siblings are somewhere in Canada or something, but still that by thoughts they are fighting. So yeah, understanding.
I mean here, like in the end, all 100 side of the Dhritarashtra's son is killed, and only one side is left.
Yeah.
So is that the answer? Like completely, one should be wiped off?
If they completely are in the side of adharma, but the problem here now, you know what? In Kali Yuga, you can never say someone is completely dharmic or opposite to dharmic. It's a mixture of both, right? So it
Yes.
depends on that. That's why it's more, there is more details to it to see it from one angle. One person may see that whatever I do is dharma. The other person may see that is not dharma. That's why for us to define our activities and thoughts, the one common platform is the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. With that, if everyone is taught to deal with things in life, then there is no ambiguity. Until then, these things will go on. What we can do is we can pray to the Lord to give them the proper understanding, and we can also try to tell them to come to this platform. Until then it will be fighting only.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so who is Vrishni's thing? So Vrishni is in the ninth canto at the end, we see that Vrishni, Bhoja, Andaka were all small dynasties. Yadu, uh, we're all like the king's son, and then his one of the sons is forming a dynasty. Then his generations, his reign of uh, land, and then is named on Vrishnikula. One is a very powerful person in that, like Kuru. Kauravas, why? Because they were descendants of Kuru, and Kuru was a very prominent king who's known for his he did so many yajnas. So like that way, Brishni is also a famous king, and he's so powerful that the whole Kula is called Vrishni Kula, like that. Yes, Prabhuji, Srinath, yeah, that's true. We are all a family, and I hope everyone is chanting at least 2 rounds every day, not only today, but you please, take this up. Otherwise, we might theoretically understand Bhagavad Gita, but for us to apply it in our daily life, we need that prayer. We need that service. It's a service to the Lord for getting this knowledge. So please, I request everyone to not much, at least start with chanting 2 malas, which is 108 times, 2 times. And we can see that, I am not you are Paramatma, you are not my Paramatma, and I cannot give any solution. But the Lord who is in everyone's heart, he is our best friend and he can give a solution. And this is a phone number for the Lord, to call the Lord for help. So this is a very powerful mantra and a very easy process also. So my request is, let's take this up every day as a part in your daily life. Although we meet only twice a week, please take this up, and we will see that, the more and more things get clear theoretically and also practically for us. Okay, so we will start with chapter 2 next week. I think it's the second largest chapter. So we will take 3 sessions to complete that. And so till we meet on Thursday, please go through the purports. And if you have any questions, you can text in the group or text me personally as well. Really, thank you all for coming. Really grateful to you. I want to connect with each one of you to see how I can, help you better. Slowly we will have, after as time goes by, like maybe after a few weeks, we can have a session, Zoom session with 4 or 5 of you only. It can just be a informal session where we can know each other, and I can try to understand the situation more, how I can help. So thank you all devotees for your valuable time and patience. So we will pause here and with a prayer to the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.